Okay, I'm back, you guys. We are back. This is actually much better because I actually just tried to go live from my laptop on the Facebook Live platform and it was a bit confusing and I think my video got shut off. But this is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. I think I was recently inspired to do this video from a conversation I just had, you guys, on this dating app. And by the way, today is the very first day of snow here in New York City. So I was turned up. I was lit. I was so excited because where I come from, we don't get snow. So I was just feeling really good today. I was mesmerized by the snow. And after I finished work, I'm like, I gotta get me something to eat. So I ended up going to the grocery store. And y'all, I got 3 boxes of cereal. Besides, of course, I got some meat, but I'm going to cook tomorrow. I got like some other groceries and stuff. But I have a sweet tooth. So I got 3 boxes of cereal. Help me pick one. I got some Trix, 6 fruity shapes, some Cocoa Puffs, and some Lucky Charms. I think I might go with the Lucky Charms. Which one is your favorite? And then I'm going to get into this video. I got to because this is a topic that must be addressed here. I think I might go, I don't know. I kind of want all of them. I have a taste for all 3. That's why I bought all 3. And what's up with cereal prices, by the way? We talking about $5 for Cocoa Puffs? Seriously? This was $6. How much was this? Sometimes I don't even look at the prices anymore. I just throw it in the bag. So I will be eating me some cereal while I'm making this video. I know some of y'all be like, girl, you munching. You shouldn't be munching. Listen. Either you watch or you don't. It don't matter to me. People gonna watch regardless. I love my Lucky Charms though. Who's gonna be my Lucky Charm? My Lucky Charm. Y'all. Sometimes when I be having conversations with guys, I just want to give them a big hug because I realize that so many men have fragile egos. Like, they have been hurt. They had to been hurt. Hold on, let's see, can I do this without knocking shit over? Wasting. I do drink whole milk, but I think I'm lactose intolerant though. I don't know. It's like I was. It's like, okay, when I grew up I wasn't. And then I reached like my late 20s. Early 30s, I think I became lactose intolerant because I don't get the bubblies, but now I think I'm fine. That's enough milk. I don't usually pour that much. Can't wait to get into this. I gotta put this up though. Let me put this up. Alrighty. I want you guys to feel free to interact. Let me know how are you guys doing, by the way. Excuse me for a second while I indulge. He's still online too. I don't be trying to hurt people's feelings. But it's like, I'm not responsible for how you feel based on what I say. You are responsible for that. guys, and I noticed there's this trend now where, and I get it, I get it completely. But men, a lot of men, especially black men, are very fragile on the inside. And I say I get it because I get it. You know? Especially when we look at it from a systemic perspective. In terms of the psychological, emotional effects of slavery that have been passed down. And then how black men are targeted in our society today. Still. And not just by the criminal justice system. On all different fronts. So I have to lay that groundwork down. I have to lay the foundation down. Because I understand. I get it. But I feel like just because that is the case, like, I am not going to, like, for example, how people say, you don't dim your light just because somebody else feels a certain kind of way by your light. That's just not how I move through the world. I don't. I am who I am. This is Danielle. This is me. This is just me. I feel very comfortable in who I am, too. I'm going to read you guys this conversation. That I had with this guy on this dating site. This happened today, actually, right? He messaged me. let me start off saying that first. He messaged me. He messaged your girl first, right? And he goes, "That's hair with little heart eyes, right? That hair." I mean, I get a lot of compliments and I get a lot of messages. It is what it is, right? It's not like I'm not used to getting compliments from all different kinds of people, right? So I get it. And so I replied with just a smile. Because I have a rule. This is just my own personal rule that I'm not going to invest more than a guy invests. Like, I just don't. Like, it is what it is, right? And so he says, "How are you?" I said, "I'm well, and yourself?" He says, first of all, he ain't even, like, I gave him a pass because he's not even, his grammar is all messed up. He got missing letters. Come on. He says, "I'm chilling, can't complain." I let a lot of stuff slide, right? And he goes, "How was your day?" I said, "Blessed. You look happy as fuck." Now, I like to use humor, just to kind of, because I feel like guys, it'd be so awkward at the beginning. It's like a guy could be interested, but he just tiptoeing around. He don't know what to say. I'm like, let's just get straight to the point. I'm not 37 for nothing. You're not in your 30s for nothing. By the way, this guy is 34 years old. He says he lives in Brooklyn. I'm like, come on. Let's cut straight to the chase. All the small talk, That kind of annoys me, by the way. But to break the ice, I said, "Blessed, you look happy." Oh, excuse me, y'all, for spitting. I said, "Blessed, you look happy as fuck in your pictures, not a care in the world." Which he does by his picture, right? Maybe he chose the best of the best pictures. He says, "Well, I would be more happy if I get your number and start a conversation." Now, this is just me. I don't know how other women do. But while, yes, I'm on a dating site to meet a guy, and my intent on my profile specifically says that, I'm here, to build a relationship. I'm looking for a serious relationship, long term, and I want to build divine. You feel me? I want to build. I want something sustainable, long term, right? And I want to build a family. So I'm clear about my intent. But just because that's my intent doesn't mean like, oh, I'm just so desperate. I'm 37. I need to get laid. I need to get wifed up. I'm like, all these men out here, yo, I feel like I have options, right? So I choose. Given that I have options, I can choose. So when I come back, when I see like a guy is like, especially he jump in and he's like, oh, let me get your number. Why should I give you my phone number? Like, do I need to give you my phone? Like, what? I have to have a reason. Why am I going to give you my phone number? Okay, yes, the obvious, so we can talk more, right? By phone. I get it. But if I was to give my phone number out to every guy who just simply asks, oh, let me get your phone number, a lot of guys would have my phone number. I don't want a lot of, like, what's the point? You're in it. A phone number is just a phone number, right? They get your phone number. It doesn't work out. You don't like the conversation. You can block them, right? Move on. But I feel like, what's the point? I don't like to waste time. So I do weeding, right? And I may say certain things. So what I noticed was on his profile, no, it wasn't by his profile. I don't think it was clear in his profile. So I asked him, I said, what's your living situation? What are you looking for exactly? Okay. Listen. He says, living situation. Hold on, y'all. Hold up. He was cute too, y'all. I will show y'all, but I ain't gonna put him out there like that. He's handsome. I'm about to click on his profile. He's gonna probably think that I'm spying. No, I'm good. It was cute, but this can be deceiving because I like to see what's up in here. I be testing guys. What that mind do. Yeah. Nah, he looked like he wouldn't have worked anyway. 6'1". I mean, on the surface, he looked like, alright, okay. Could be my type. Okay, but then his intent says single. I want to date, but nothing serious. Okay. So you're not looking for nothing serious anyway. I feel like if you are, then just say so. I think guys take the safe route to say, oh, I'm not looking for nothing serious. But then their conversation is so serious, right? Come on. If it ain't that deep, it ain't that deep. I know it the shit out of people, yo. I know it. Okay? I recognize that. So he says, living situation, I'm stable. I live in a 4-bedroom apartment with my friend. Why you need 4 bedrooms? With your friend? He said, and I'm looking for a real companion. My point exactly. Contradiction, right? But your profile say one thing, but in the comment you say something different. Okay. He says, I don't do predictions. All this is just, to me, everything after that, I ain't asked you all that, right? I said, what's your living situation? What are you looking for exactly? The first sentence was just enough. Living situation, I'm stable. I live in a 4-bedroom apartment with my friend, and I'm looking for a real companion. All right. Pretty clear, I think. But in the same comment, right, he elaborates. It's like he wrote a whole freaking little mini essay. He says, oh, I forgot I had mine. The marshmallows. This is why I say, like, as a man who's interested in me, you gotta have confidence. I may say certain things that, I don't know. We gotta realize, like, I study psychology, I study human behavior, so I know what to say and do sometimes to ruffle feathers. And I just have experience with relationships, period. So I know how to get there real quick. And I feel like, it shouldn't be that deep though. But I'm gonna have to say this because I'm gonna show y'all how he responded, right? Just like, why? Okay, let me get there. So he elaborates. He goes, I don't do predictions. I am on a time-based process as far as a relationship. Aren't we all though? That to me is just superfluous. Like, it's just unnecessary. Building blocks to a relation is secure chemistry and emotional support. Then everything else comes after. Goes without saying, right? That's like generally speaking. He's teaching me about. He's trying to tell me about how relationships evolve. As a 37-year-old woman, I don't already know that. He says, I don't force relationships, but organically let them happen. So my answer is simple. I'm looking to interact with a woman to who can really take me the distance intellectually. Well, it's your turn. Question mark, question mark. I don't like that. Question mark, like, yo, what are you about and how is your living situation? Question mark. You can tell, like, he was triggered. For him to write all of that, I can easily tell, me asking him what his living situation was. It wasn't that I asked him what he's looking for exactly. It was that I asked him, what is his living situation? And I feel like it ain't really about the living situation. It's not about that question, right? It's all in his response. What are the emotions? What are the thoughts in his mind attached to his living situation? Because it's something there that don't have nothing to do with I. But I asked the question, so I created that trigger. Because I can tell in his response, his response is so long. You didn't even take all of that. And then the double question marks. Well, it's your turn. Question mark. What are you about and how is your living situation? Question mark. He's misspelling words. You can tell. You can tell. I'd be curious to see who's watching me. So I replied, I live alone and would prefer someone else who lives alone. It sounds innocent to me. I live alone and I would prefer someone else who lives alone. What's the harm in me saying that, y'all? Please inform me. I'm glad I have a sense of humor. People should not take things so personal. You know what the best is, though? When you eat a good bowl of cereal and you follow it by a cold glass of ice water. That'd be the best, yo. So I felt like me just saying that, I was just stating my truth. I live alone and would prefer someone else who lives alone. This is it, right? This is where he showed his ass. And it clearly turned me the fuck off at this point. Because I'm like, are men that sensitive? Like, seriously, are men really that sensitive? He goes, okay, no problem. You lying. You're lying, bruh. No problem. If it's no problem, period. Let it be. But he goes, ... Okay. So that lets me know it's about to be a problem. Then he goes, this is the same comment. This is a reply after I respond that I live alone and would prefer someone who lives alone. That's just my preference. We all have preferences. Just because someone you encounter that you're interested in doesn't meet your preferences, no need to go in beast mode. No need to get all defensive and go on this rant that he goes on. He says, how is your credit? I prefer someone with good credit and someone who's at least 10 years younger. But hey, who are we to be picky at an advanced age? Keep fishing. But that wasn't enough though. In a whole separate comment, he comes back and sends a whole nother message. I guess he felt like, I gotta get this shit off my chest. I gotta get this shit. This is just letting me know that, it's an ego trip. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess he took it as rejection, which it should not be looked at as him being rejected. Like, we all have our different interests. I'm not gonna, take it personal if a guy says, I'm not interested. You're not interested. You're not interested. I hope we all find what we want. This is only one part of our lives. Dating, relationships, that's only one part of your life. Right? So, it's not the end of the world. He goes on to say, I don't need another man to compete with. How did he get that I was another man? Because I said I live alone. And I said I prefer someone who lives alone. Now, I'm being a man. He says, I don't need another man to compete with. I need an actually woman. This is his words. I'm reading verbatim. Who is feminine. He didn't even spell it right. He said, feminine. People who talk like you are just fishing to be alone. I mean, you're 15 years past your prime and you're being picky? Question mark? I mean, can you still even have children at your age? Question mark? Because if you can't, I prefer not to even continue this conversation because the value has gone to shit now. Thank you. I love it when, like, guys just be who they are. Like, stop with the fakeness. Stop with the just be who you are. That was going to come out anyway. But I'm glad that I brought it out now versus being naive and falling for the sweet nothings and all of that. And had I gave him my number, God. But I pick up on things very early. And I'm glad that it happened on this dating site, right? Because could you imagine a person like me dating a person like this? He would not be able to deal with me because he would be very offended. He would feel very insecure because I can tell he's not insecure in himself. And when you have insecurities in yourself and you're around someone who is very secure in themselves, like that just triggers your insecurities even more. It just does. I can tell he would be very insecure, probably overprotective, jealous. Like, he's talking about my kind. How do you get that just based on me saying I would prefer someone who lives alone? I didn't necessarily reject him. I just told him what my preference was, which I do. Because guys who live with family and all of this, I can't entertain guests, I can't have guests over, that'd be a whole, like, for what? What are we doing? I'm not interested in that. I just feel like I like guys who have their own space. That's not being manly for him to retort, oh, I don't need another man to compete with. You feel, now you feel that you're competing with a man because I say I live alone? I guess in his mind, he interpreted that as I don't need him because I live alone, right? And he apparently shares a space, an apartment with somebody else. The questions he asked, though, I feel are valid. Wanting to know what a woman's credit is, that's important, but the response, him to bring that up as his defense because he felt a certain kind of way when I told him I prefer a man that lives alone. And then he goes, oh, we can't be picked. I'm like, I told him, this is my response. I said, I think you should go after what you prefer. Good luck on your search. I don't take it personal that you have these perspectives of what you would like for a woman to look like, your preference in a woman. We all have preferences, fine. Not every man, I know this to be true, not every man prefers a younger woman. But that's not here nor there in my book. I know what I prefer. And I prefer a man who's mature, who's independent, self-sufficient, that can stand on his own 2 feet, has experience under his belt, has a healthy perspective on life in general, that I can build with. Preferably a man with no kids. I ain't even say that part. But he don't have any kids anyway, because otherwise he wouldn't even be talking. Because I usually weed out guys who have kids. I check their profile and they say if they have kids. I mean, not to say it couldn't work, but it's just, hey, But for him to go like, oh, I'm just fishing to be alone. No, brother. No. And I could have had kids by now. It's a choice. I could be married by now. I choose this. It's not like, I think this is where guys get in their feelings and their ego because yes, a man is valuable. A man is important to a woman. It's a man, and it's important that a man, especially a black man and a woman, procreate, reproduce. That is very important. But I'm also careful about who I choose to procreate with and reproduce. And I feel like actually that action in of itself, in terms of that magical thing happening where a man inseminates my egg and gets me pregnant, is something that is of divine order that will be, it would come as a result of what the universe does, right? The universe is going to align that. It's not, I don't have to go out of my way. Like, I don't go out of my way for things like that. I position myself in place to, you know, date, but as far as all of, I don't worry about stuff like that. That's not my concern. But the whole thing about what's your credit, like, yo, my credit is great. I'm not concerned about my credit. But apparently, I don't know. See, people have all kinds of past experiences, so they start projecting. They start, like, revealing things about themselves and their own personal experiences. And I don't know what kind of woman he dated with bad credit or whatever have you. Or older women who he assumed that can't get pregnant because of their age. And thank God I believe that I can. And I will get pregnant. I mean, I still have a period. I still ovulate. I know that because of the substance that is released 14, 18 days after my first day of my period, you know, when it first comes on. So it's likened to the consistency of, damn, we getting deep. We getting deep, yo. But it is likened to the consistency of the aloe. I remember I had purchased some aloe. And I think it was my first time, like, cutting the aloe open. And as I was doing it, like, you know, the aloe that comes out of the plant is stretchy. And I'm just like, oh, this reminds me of something that I know, familiar to me. But it's just familiar to all women, of course, when they're ovulating. But I don't know what's his problem. I'm just like, and it reminded me, like, seeing this, because this is a video topic that I was going to do a few weeks ago in response to this video that I saw. And not just the video I saw, but this person that I follow. I just feel bad. You know, it makes me feel bad, and I feel sad because a lot of men are hurting. People in general are hurting. But I know, I care about black men. A lot of black men are hurting, and you know, if only, you know, they could get the love that they deserve. And he's just a man who's just looking for love, right? It's clear. But just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, I like transparency. Don't be beat around the bush. You know, you're looking for love. And sex, too, I'm sure. What man doesn't like sex? But a lot of men today looking for sex can't even fuck worth a damn. That's what it is. And they need hugs. And what I saw in the video from this person that I do follow, I'm not going to mention his name, but I see that it's a pattern in the black community and black men who have this thing where they want to be polygamous. And I'm all for it. I think that it serves a purpose. You know, I think that in terms of nation building, it's needed to build, to have multiple women, right? To do it in a way that's structured, that you're not just out there fucking every Mary Jane and freaking Jessica or whoever you want to fuck, right? And just dropping your seed in whomever. I think that polygamy is, it creates an opportunity for a man to be honest about his proclivities, right? Because I think a lot of men just have that desire to want to mate with multiple women, even at the same time. So nothing is wrong with that. I just like the honesty where men can recognize that about themselves and be forthcoming about it in terms of their relationships with women. And so, there have been men, black men, I will call them conscious leaders, who have come to the forefront, and they've expressed that, and some are living it or attempting to live it. But I see in how they do it, and sometimes they are driven by unhealthy motivations, right? I think sometimes, like, these men, they rationalize polygamy to say, oh, it's for nation building and to build a tribe. But really, a lot of times, it's just to feed their ego. And you know what? I got to put this down for a second because I really want to go deep on this. I really want to go deep. I did want to focus on this comment here. But as it relates to the male ego, especially the black male's ego, it's sad. And the black men are just a reflection of the black woman. And I feel like we have been so ostracized, rejected, oppressed from society for so many years, still happening to this very day, that we will seek any and everything to gain a sense of power. And a lot of times men find that outlet in just hunting, as they call it, or chasing, pursuing different women and having sex with them, just different women. They gain a sense of power in doing so. And oftentimes it's toxic, what you see. Like that dynamic, just them having sex with multiple women, it brings them problems that they didn't want. Baby mama drama, child support, and all of that. And then even this one person that I'm thinking about in particular, he's trying to do it in an organized way, but he's still not satisfied. And what I've noticed is that a lot of these men, black men who are polygamous, what's common is that you look at their childhood. They grew up without a mother. They grew up without a solid, healthy foundation of a childhood. So to make up for that, they compensate. And these men seek motherhood through these different multiple women. But that's the thing about a void, or any, like, voids in general, right? Let's think about void. When you have voids in your life, when there's a void, especially if the void was created in childhood. And I've said this before in another video, where the whole thing, the debate about love and being able to make a person happy. Because that came up on my videos, say that, it's the other partner's job to make their partner happy. And I'm like, no. That's nobody's job to make another person happy. The person should already be happy. I feel like we could add to a person's happiness. There are certain things that a partner can do to add to it, but it's not a person's job in and of itself to make the other person happy. There's a void that needs to be filled. And if a person is lacking love that they should have received in childhood, they're never going to fill that void. You're trying to fill the void of the lack of love that you should have got in childhood. You're trying to get that filled in adulthood. Think about that. I've said this before. You're chasing after something in your adult life that should have been given to you as a child. But you didn't get it as a child. And you're trying to get that as an adult. Even if you get something that closely resembles that, you still would not be fulfilled. You won't be happy because you were supposed to get that as a child. So it's almost like a thing where you have to come to terms with and kind of let it go. You can try to recreate that as an adult, relive that, right? But it's not going to be the same because it's not the same. a woman can never replace the love of a mother, right? A woman's love can never replace the love of that mother that should have given that child love. And a lot of time men are seeking that in women, and they wonder why they are not happy with that woman. She's everything to you. She's everything that a man could ask for, and you're still not fulfilled. Your ego is underdeveloped, not only because of that, but because of other things you've had to endure as a black man, whereas you against the world. So you're not competing. This guy is not competing with me. I'm not trying to compete with any man, but oftentimes I think men do find themselves competing with the black woman, or feel like they need to compete with the black woman. If anything, I think, and this is hard. I don't even think I can fit this all in this video, because it's so dynamic, it's so complex, that I don't even want to do it justice, to do this topic justice and going even deeper. I would rather make it a separate video. But I will say this, that it's important that men, black men, know a black woman, her value and what she represents. And I get it. I understand. I get it. A lot of times, black men, their perception of what a black woman is worth, is just based on their own mother. It's based on past relationships, negative, bad relationships that they've encountered with women, and they carry that over. And I'm so glad that I can spot it like head on, because it's just, I don't want to be involved with a man who has a fragile or underdeveloped ego. It's just not, it's going to be problems. I've said this, that I want to be with a man who is secure within himself. There's nothing more unattractive than a man who doesn't love himself, who's not confident in himself. You can tell. A man who is confident in himself will not even say these things, because he said these things in response to something that he got triggered by. Now, it's different. Not to say that those questions aren't valid in terms of asking, how's my credit, or can I have kids? But he got triggered. You're mad. So, like, you got to say all these extra things, right? And then add some extra sauce to it. Which I found to be quite entertaining, by the way. I had to share it with you guys because I wanted to see what your take is on this. And I definitely want to see what has been your experience in dealing with women. I'm talking to women. What has been your experience in dealing with men with these fragile? It's like you gotta tiptoe. I can't tiptoe around a man. I'm not disrespectful. I don't consider myself disrespectful at all. But I'm just gonna state what I believe. I'm going to state my perspective. And I kid you not, all I said was, I live alone. I would prefer someone who lives alone, and they feel a certain kind of way. So that goes to show you, like, the things that a woman like myself, who is relatively established, right? Just because I'm established, it doesn't mean that I don't need a man. Because, of course, if I choose to procreate, how am I going to do that, right? But the things that, I have to deal with in dealing with men who are just insecure. Men who don't know the value of a woman because they were raised without one. And if they did have a mother who raised them, who was in their life physically, maybe she wasn't there psychologically or emotionally in the way that you deserved as a child. So you have this thing against women. How could you tell when a man, because a man who doesn't have this animosity towards a woman would not allow that to come out of his mouth. It's just like, you feel that it's me versus you created that. I didn't create that animosity. I triggered it, but I didn't create that in you. That was already in this guy. So I think that, yes, it's clever of me to be able to say certain things, position words together so that, get straight to the point, to see what's really inside a person's heart. Because I want that to come out. If you have good in your heart, good will come out. The truth came out of his mouth. Out of the heart, the mouth speaks. That's just what happened. I didn't put those words in his mouth. He spoke those words. It came from a thought. It came from his emotions. That's how he felt. He already has this animosity, this men versus women kind of attitude. And now I'm to blame for it. Oh my gosh, I think it's hilarious. If only. Black men, love yourself first. That's important because I see definitely right through people. I like, just like you know how like animals, dogs can sniff out fear. Like I can see that. It comes off so quickly. It's an energy force. It's just, I can tell when I can like read emotion very well. I can tell when someone is jealous, someone is fearful, someone is insecure. Without much even being said. And I'm just like, come on. I do want to give you a hug because I know that you're hurting on the inside. You know, and you just want to be loved. Everybody just needs to be loved. That's just what it is. But it's like, it's sad. That's what I think it is. It's sad, and I see how it becomes toxic in relationships, right? And he's going to get with the woman, whoever that woman may be, and people get hurt, you know, because he's hurting. So hurt people hurt other people. But if you come into a relationship whole, not seeking happiness from your other partner, and you come into it whole as a whole person who loves yourself deeply, you are confident in who you are, nothing the other person can say is going to make you feel threatened. Why? They didn't pick out a gun and shoot you, so why do you feel threatened by words? And it's just perspective. It's just my perspective. It wasn't a direct attack on him. Granted, okay, he's a man. He doesn't live alone. But we don't even know each other. So why do you feel? He should even feel any kind of way. I mean, I get it. Okay, he's a man who's interested in me. So he felt like, dang, I shot him down, right? And probably at this point, he's probably kind of fed up with getting rejected. So he's just, you know, I'm just another woman who rejected him. He's just like, ah. That's why he goes like, oh, you're the type of woman. I'm like, what? People who talk like you are just fishing to be alone. No. But I am interested in, you know, building with someone who's mature, who takes responsibility for his own emotions and doesn't blame another person for how he feels, because how you feel is how you feel. How you respond or react to a situation, that's all you, bruh. Come on. I trigger him, obviously, yes. But take responsibility for your opinion and perspective on anything in life. I just would like an open conversation with men and women on this topic of the fragility of the male ego, because, and I know it's difficult, and a lot of men will be in denial, like, oh, I ain't got no ego, and some men go to the extent of saying, oh, the ego is necessary. Yes, we all have egos, but that's the problem. If you don't recognize that your ego is not where it should be, it's not that you shouldn't have an ego, it's just that your ego is fragile. It's broken. So much of your ego is broken because so much of your ego and who you see yourself to be is dependent upon acceptance from other people. That's a problem, because I rejected him. So in rejecting him, his ego came to the forefront, and that's when he began to say, what do you say? The whole thing about age is like, okay, if that's really your preference, if you prefer a woman who is, what do you say, 10 years younger or whatever, like, why not? Go after your preference. That's not my preference necessarily. I don't want a man 10 years younger than me. But then again, it could come with benefits, though. You know, the stamina usually be higher up there when men are in their 20s. They be throwing it back, you know what I'm saying? They lay it down. Let's put it that way. They lay it down, you know. Whereas, you know, men up in age, you know, and comes erectile dysfunction. So that can go both ways. But I would say, generally speaking, I would prefer to date a man, procreate with a man who is my age, you know, older, who still has some stamina down there, because that's important. And even, I gotta say this, I ain't gonna talk about this. I thought about going live and making a video in response to a comment that I received on a post that I made. I shared it. The post actually was originally posted last year around this time when I met this guy from the Ivory Coast. He lives in New York. Invited me on a date. He flew me out from LA to New York. I didn't ask for it. He wanted it, right? Because he wanted me to spend the holidays with him. And he went all out when it came to the date. Like, overall, he spent a good $2,000. Because the flight alone was like $1,000. And then the dinner reservation, he just went all out. Which, I mean, I appreciate it. I feel like I appreciate it. But just because, okay, you throwing bands doesn't guarantee a relationship. Because you can't buy me. I'm not for sale. So, granted, you know, we spent time together and I enjoyed, well, somewhat. I ain't going to say all together because it's just like the laziness, right? I think this is what it is. Sometimes guys feel like, oh, well, just because I spent X number of dollars, then that's it, right? Or just because they come with a certain status. Oh, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a millionaire, I'm this. It's just like they feel they ain't got to do shit else. When it comes to just the basic stuff of a relationship, show up. You know, are you here? You know, he's physically there, but like mentally, motherfucker checked out. No, I'm turned off by that. Sleeping all during the day? Like, I'm your guest. Why are you sleeping? This is in response to the post. This is a post here. You guys got to go on Facebook. See, sometimes YouTube just be lost. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But you got to follow me on Facebook to really get a well-rounded picture of what sometimes I be talking about in my YouTube videos. So, yeah, this guy, you know, he just felt like that was it. That he ain't had to do nothing else. And it's just like, I don't ask for much, but I do ask you to be present. And especially if we're building, getting to know each other, like, communication to me is important. You know, just slacking. I think sometimes guys get comfortable and think, oh, I already got it. Dude was way too comfortable, sleeping way too much, sleeping during the day, like a lot. I felt to the point where I felt like, okay, are you depressed? Like, what's really going on? I get it. He was working too, and I get it. You know, you're tired, but it's just that and the sex. Like I was gonna say, like the sex, just. What's up with these guys coming in like 1 minute? Literally. 1-2 minutes. Come on. You blame I'm wrong though? So a woman should not be satisfied. Because this woman commented on my post, right? After, you know, I shared the post. The original post was pictures of me and the guy went on a date. He took me to the Marriott Marquis in Times Square, and it was like the view, the restaurant, and it gives you like a 360 view of Manhattan. It's nice. The floor rotates, so you're sitting at the table, and you know you're rotating in this glass, you know, so you get to look out and you get to see the city of Manhattan. I thought it was beautiful, right? So, you know, and me reflecting back, because I like to sometimes look back at my memories, right? As we most do, we go back and look at our memories and see, oh, dang, a year ago, this was that. You know, I was dating this guy, and oh, it's cute. Look at the pictures. And so I'm looking at the post, right? It's a year ago. And of course I shared it, but I shared it and I had to make a comment to say, like, you know, he did go all out financially, but the sex, yo, dude fell short, you know. And I was just like, that's just what it is. But I kind of think about it, like, damn, I'm a beast. Am I that much of a beast when it comes to guys? Because in the moment, I didn't feel like that. I felt like, dang, you know, I know what I want, what I deserve. Like, settle. No, I'm gonna get what I want. And if I don't get what I want, okay, fine. But at least I don't have to like pretend to be with somebody and not get what I want. Right? Like I would rather just be with somebody that I like. They don't have to have the world. I'm not even looking for that. We just have to be on the same frequency and get along. That's not much to ask for. Of course, be honest, like the basic stuff, right? Honesty, loyalty, stuff like that. But just keep it 100. And he didn't, it's not like he cheated or disloyal. It was like, I would say the bigger reason was the sex. It was just not fulfilling. I'm just like, yo. It makes sense. Like, usually it's a guy, right? The guy is the one that wants sex, I think. At least that's how it's understood. Like, men like sex and they like a lot of sex. But y'all forget, like, women like sex too. Should I like sex, yo? And I like for it to be right. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just, okay, we had sex. Like, yo, what was that? 1 minute. I'm not even exaggerating. 1 to 2 minutes. Like, do come quick. And I get, okay, maybe you don't get sex that often. Okay, you might come quick. Maybe you're excited. You're just happy to be with a beautiful woman that you feel attracted to. I get it. Women don't come that quick, though. You know, we don't orgasm. It does. I think it takes more for a woman to orgasm. So, you know, there's a little bit of bias there. It might be unfair. I get it. But, and then, so going back to the post that I shared, like, I guess a woman felt bad and she commented and she was just like, dang, like, he had all of that and, you know, you kind of like got rid of him because the sex. And it's just, don't I deserve what I want? And so she goes, you know that a man can learn intimacy. No duh. If anybody knows about sex and intimacy, it's this person here. Like, I know about all of that. The question is, do I want to teach or do I want a guy to have to learn that? No. What the fuck? I'm 37. No, you gotta come. Like, you really know how to lay that shit down already and just do it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you can tell I'm getting excited, but ain't nobody about to sit up here and take no goddamn class. Wait for you to learn how to do this and no. That I'm a different kind of woman. Now, granted, I do like to I don't mind going to workshops, right? Me and my ex, we did that. You know, he was Jamaican, but dude, he knew how to do that. I mean, Jamaicans just come with it already packaged, right? You know. So that wasn't no issue in that department. But it was certain things that I was interested in that he really wasn't exposed to, like BDSM, right? But he already had that inherent within him. So it's not like, oh, I had to teach him how to be dominant. He had to learn dominance because dominance is something, a trait or a characteristic that I like in a man, right? He didn't have to learn that, but he did, he was curious to want to learn more, right? So we would go to, like, you know, BDSM clubs and stuff like that. He was immersing himself in my world. But that's different. Because he already came to the table with dominance. He was already a dominant man. I feel like I don't want to teach that. This guy, the $2,000 date guy, he did not really necessarily come with dominance. Just because you can spend lavishly on a date doesn't mean that you're dominant. I mean, financially, yeah. But if that's all you got, like, personality wasn't dominant. Dude was a pushover. It just really wasn't my type. I don't like that. I don't feel bad either. Like, I didn't feel bad. I just did not. See, he wasn't sexually dominant. He wasn't psychologically dominant. That to me is number one, psychological dominance. Yes, it's important that a man has financial stability, right, and viability. That's important, but it's really difficult, I think, the psychological dominance. And I think some men confuse it, because when some men hear that, oh, you're submissive, you like a man to dominate you psychologically, they think in terms of abuse. See, you got it fucked up. You got it wrong. Just go. I feel like it goes, real doms know what I'm saying. I feel like it's not something that can be taught necessarily. It's just either you got it or you don't. Are you intelligent? Do you have wit or you don't? You just don't. You ain't got it. You just don't have it. It's a gift. So that's that, and I don't feel bad. I don't apologize, because that's just me. And I feel like, guys can probably feel bruised, right? Like their ego got bruised. But you shouldn't take it personal. And then another guy commented and said, who spends $2,000 on a blind date anyway? Okay, you have a point. But see, I think to his response, I said, guys who, first of all, you gotta be insecure. You're trying to overcompensate for what you're lacking. You know you're lacking down there. You know that you have insecurity, so it makes sense. That's not my problem, though. Like, that's not me. I'm not responsible for that. It don't work, it don't work. It just doesn't work. My cereal has gotten soggy. But it's still tasty, though. Let me know what y'all think. I can go on and on about this. I don't know why my videos be jumping. I can go on and on about this. But you gotta come correct. I've dated men, go on a date with them. And that's the thing, the surface can look really beautiful. Man, fine as fuck. But I see right through it. It's like, dude, you insecure. Go on a date, and I get compliments. I get compliments when I'm by myself. So I think it just intensifies even more when you with somebody, especially a guy, right? A woman is with a guy. People notice that, especially black love is a thing. It's a thing because it's kind of rare, I guess. You think of the numbers of single black women, right? And interracial couples. It's kind of rare. Like black love, like black man, black woman. That's what I'm talking about. It's kind of rare. So when you see it, people notice. But I get noticed even by myself. Because I walk with a certain degree of confidence and security and assurance in myself. And I think it could be just my look, my hair, the way I dress sometimes, whatever. People give me compliments. I'm used to it. And so I've been on dates. I'm not pointing fingers at nobody. I ain't calling no names. But I have been on dates. I say dates, this is plural, multiple. In LA and in New York, where I'm on a date and I get compliments from other men, and the guy I'm with is like, he's jealous, yo. It's like, what the fuck? Because other men will compliment me, and not only compliment me, but they will, as a sign of respect, these men would address the guy and say, she's beautiful, or I like your coat. And I just think it's funny, because it just speaks to a person's insecurities, Because I feel like a man who is sure in himself, why would you feel a certain kind of way that another man compliments your woman? If it's your woman, by the way, but she ain't your woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel deep down inside when guys go on date, especially with me. And I've had guys tell me this. They're like, you know what? You just, I ain't your caliber. Like, you above me. You up here. And I'm like, what? And like, you up here. And, I got to, like, level up to get on your level. And I just be like, it throws me the fuck off, right? Because I don't look at guys like that. I feel like if you have confident enough to reach out to me and say, hey, how you doing? And we exchange phone numbers. I feel like, shit, you already in there. But they just be doubting themselves. It just comes out. They doubt themselves. That's the struggle here. They doubt themselves. It's the male ego. It's insecurity, right? So when you doubt yourself, it's like when you're insecure, that's when your ego becomes triggered and you be overcompensate. Your ego has to overcompensate to level out that discomfort, that distress you feel on the inside, that anxiety, right? And I'll be looking at dudes like, what's wrong with you? Like, they be getting all out of shape. Like, another guy compliment me, and a lot of times be white people, white men. It's like, how can you feel? First of all, you a black man. Why you feel intimidated by this white man? And this white man with his woman, even if he by himself, why you feel a certain kind of way? Because he just gave me a compliment. And it's just like, they not getting a compliment, right? And so, I will give the guy the compliment. Or the guy I'm dating, right? Give him the compliment. But that seems so corny. That just seems so corny. So now you're looking for validation because you see that I'm getting all these compliments. You're not getting the compliments. And so you just like, oh, don't I have a nice coat too? Am I not beautiful too? So now I feel like I gotta go and feed this person validation. Oh, you're beautiful. Don't worry, just because you're not getting compliments, you're still beautiful too. We're not competing, but guys be feeling like they need to go in competition with me. No, you ain't got to go in competition with me. That's the reason why, and this is why people, when I made that video, right, and I talked about this, about standards and all of that, and then some people want to attack me like, oh, like, who am I to have standards, and choosing to have a preference in dating somebody who's on my level or above. Because guys, when I say level, we're just talking about SES, socioeconomic status, right? And just mentally being able to have an intellectual conversation, and you don't feel like, oh, I'm using big words or talking smarter than you. Like, come on, what the fuck, what is we doing? It just seems very foreign to me. And that's the reason why, because when guys aren't on a woman's level, it's a problem. It's a problem. You get situations like that. This guy right here feeling a certain kind of way. And I'm just like, dude, what is wrong with you? It's okay. You can have standards too. You're talking about, oh, well, I got preferences too, but I feel like we too old. We got to reach the point in our life where we too old to be picky. No. Too old. No such thing as picky. You can choose. That's what preference is about. You choose what you're interested in. You don't have to settle either. But that's the thing. If he had confidence in himself, he would know that. He would know that. But I'm going to end this video on that note. I will catch you guys later. Feel free to share your comments below. Yes, I feel very passionate about this topic, because it hurts me when I interact with black men. Beautiful. I wish I can show y'all his picture. I'm just like, God damn. When I first saw him, I was just like, when I opened up the message that he sent me, I was like, damn, he fine. Come on. That's a whole nother thing. Why do a lot of black men, even in New York especially, why y'all ain't got your own place? What's going on? Still living at home with mama and shit? I mean, I get it. Some people say, oh, I'm taking care of my mom, or I'm saving money. Okay. But let's have a conversation around that, though. Like, if that's the case, then okay. Because it does matter. People say it doesn't, but no, it matters. From a female's perspective, it matters. Even from a guy's perspective, it matters if he's dating a woman who has roommates or lives at home with her family versus if she got her own place. It should be enough said. You don't have to really explain it. it's clear that there's a difference. It matters. But we don't have to make assumptions. We can have a discussion surrounding the living situation to see, okay, what is it really happening? What's really going on? What are your limitations? Because usually there are limitations associated with that. But if not, if it doesn't apply to you, okay, let's talk about it. But it shouldn't be this complicated. Dude, he cute though, but it's just like the ego. All right, I'm about to go. I'll catch you guys later. I love you guys. I love all of you guys, okay? I love black men. I have a special place in my heart for a black man that I will marry and I will procreate with, okay? And he's not going to feel intimidated by my accomplishments and who I am, my personality, or none of that. If anything, he going to know how to take charge. That's why I like the dominant man. Y'all be wondering why I be going for the dominant man? That's some beta male shit right there. Dominant man, a truly dominant man, that should turn his ass on, because I think dominant men, they like it's something about just meeting a woman of stature, right? And who has confidence and has all this stuff going for herself. And the dominant man sees that, like, I think it's a challenge for him. And he's able to kind of like devour in a good way, you know, it's like, she's mine now. Let me go. Love you guys. Catch you guys later.